the point by merely being present, like that multitude of people that were present, that I do acknowledge and appreciate the sacrifice of these great people, and that in society generally, reforms, in fact advancement, is achieved through sacrifice, through voluntary work. And that's why I went there. I didn't make a speech. I didn't even say that point. I need not say it. I had no intention. I had no prepared remarks at all. Now, the basic message that I've been giving out to our people consists of really four things. The first one, which I said recently elsewhere, is that I think in Uganda we have done great things as NRM, as a government, under the leadership of our president, of course. We have all contributed, and it's time for change. It's time for peaceful change. These great things that we have done, the only thing that we have not achieved, well, one of the major things we have not achieved, is peaceful transition of power. And surely it's the NRM, the reformer, that must deliver that to our people. Peaceful change. If, again, as I said, I think I have said this many times, forgive me for repeating it. In Uganda, even now, you know, how many months to elections? More than 6 months to elections. But you feel tension. The tension is palpable out in the air about elections. There is anxiety by investors, by ordinary people. This is not necessary. The reason is that for all the history of Uganda, change has only occurred after violence. So people expect violence. So we must bring this to an end. And my job is to advocate and push for that, to achieve peaceful transition of power so that our people, investors who come here, or our own local investors, do not have this fear anymore. In countries where democracy is established and has set root in society, that fear is not entertained. Look at Tanzania, where there was peaceful transition of power consistently. There is no fear, absolutely none, that there will be violence. The ruling party, the Revolutionary Party of Tanzania, CCM, has 44 individuals contending for the leadership of that party. 44. They are going to hold elections, reduce them to 5, and then hold final elections to choose one. There is no tension in the country. Why? Because that's what democracy does. That's what democracy means. Therefore, the first and critical point that I must keep making is that this is the time for Uganda to join those nations where elections are routine, are normal, and are not a source of fear and anxiety. The second, and I will be saying more on this and the other points, in fact. The second point is that one of our basic messages is on the question of governance. We are coming up with reforms in order to raise the level of governance in Uganda. Obviously, government accountability has been declining. Corruption has not been stemmed or even reduced. Neglect and misuse are damaging Uganda's institutions. Now is the time to put all this right. I talked in the declaration that I made about reviving Uganda's democracy and institutions. And on democracy, I mean, I don't have much to say. It is obvious. One of the reasons why I'm coming up is to make the point that NRM is a democratic party, not DP, obviously. But it is, how do I avoid saying it and it appears as if it is DP? It is a party that believes in and practices democracy. That's what we fought for. So this notion of sole candidate, of ring fencing any position in the NRM, is alien to our history as an organization and runs counter to the very principles for which we fought. Therefore, we must do everything possible to start in our own house, to have democracy there, so that when we talk about it, we look and we appear believable. There is the question of institutions. I have said many times, our institutions, of course, we have put institutions in place, but many of them do not function very well. Why? I will be giving details on all these as I move around in the coming weeks, and more so later on after I've done the consultations. I've talked about ensuring greater level of accountability on the part of leaders. This is why I'm talking about corruption. Greater accountability of leaders, all leaders, from president down to the village, without exception. We talked about making a stronger effort, therefore, to fight corruption at all levels, and enforcing the observance and respect of the rule of law, as of course we ensure security for all, both in personal security of individuals, but also security of people and their property. So this is one cluster of messages we'll be giving out, so that our people know exactly what we stand for. Of course, someone, when I was in Voice of America, Mr. Wakakamba, said, but what you are saying is in the 2040 vision, or is in the manifesto. Yes, of course. First of all, as I said, I am NRM. As you know, I have been the chairman of the manifesto committee of NRM from beginning until now. This is the only time we are going into an election when I'm not chairing the manifesto committee of NRM. The first time. Therefore, not only do I know, I have contributed substantially to the policies or those things in the manifesto of the party. My job now is of a reformer. Yes, we've done achieved great things. Yes, there's no doubt about it. But we still have challenges, very many challenges. And those are the things we are focusing on, and we want to make better. We are looking at stronger economic policies. The economic successes of the last 30 years are in danger as weak policies deter investors and risk jobs and livelihoods. Uganda must recommit to sound fiscal and monetary policies that will drive the growth this country needs. Transforming the economy and attracting heavy local and foreign investment is an area of focus. We are going to announce a few policy proposals which are critical, which are shortcoming, but are transformative. They are cross-cutting, and we think they will actually transform our economy. It's not time yet to pronounce ourselves on these, but certainly um, we will be having an eye on an economy that provides jobs, as we said in the declaration for the 21st century. The third or fourth area of interest is what I call the quality of life, improved quality of life. Quality of life of some Ugandans is improving too slowly or not at all. Everyone should be able to see the positive results of government policy in their day-to-day lives. And when you look at what we have, the question of our health care provision, the question of our education, the question of equitable development, these are critical to that question of quality of life, and will be coming out clearly and in great detail on what we propose to do to improve in that area. I can't see properly because yeah, so now. Of course, again, I have made this point. When I say all these, the things I've been saying, some people will suggest, in fact, they have already been saying so, some of them. I've seen even placards. I saw in Gulu, where I was being buried. So some people will say that for me to speak out like this is exhibition of disloyalty, that I'm being disloyal to my party, to my leader. And they will argue that anyone who criticizes fellow senior figures in the NRM, in fact, according to Gulu, is a traitor and ought to be executed and buried. Let me say something about that. I've said it, let me repeat it, because this is my first press conference. Let me repeat it. And I think I actually said so even in my statement, the statement, my declaration. So, my loyalty is absolute. I said this before, my loyalty is absolute, but it is not to any individual. It is to the people and the Constitution of Uganda. It is to the national resistance movement. It is to the revolutionary values for which I fought as a young man and have continued to fight ever since. The traitors are those who have rejected the spirit and values that most motivated us when we formed NRM. In fact, when we started the struggle, many years before we even formed NRM. Of course, I've served Uganda for a very long time, as you know. And in the Voice of America interview, my brother Shaka Sali asked me about my relationship with the president. And I told him that our friendship has endured through war and peace, exile and homecoming, government, and as far as I'm concerned, it continues to endure today. But a yes man is no friend. A yes man is no friend. A true friend says not what his comrade wants to hear, but rather what he needs to hear. And that's why I told my comrade, Yoweri Museveni, that it was time for transitional, peaceful transition. This time. Now. So, my first message is around those clear themes, and I'm sure you will be able to talk about you'll be able to raise questions arising out of that. I'm sure you'll ask me about term limits. I have said a lot about it, and I will be happy to repeat what I have told you. Okay, so I think I've talked too much. My proposal is that these types of question and answer sessions, if you call them press conferences, they may look rigid and so on. I want very free interactive sessions. You ask questions, I will ask questions as well. And we move on. Is that okay? How does that sound? Then we can hold them regularly, at regular intervals. When do you want them? Twice a month. Twice a month in the beginning, because I'm going to be on this trail. But when I come back, we can have them at least once a week. Time will come when we may need them every day. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mbabazi. Now it's time for questions. Question 1.
Your Excellency, sorry.
You know,
Sorry.
You know, let me tell you something. Do you remember there was war in Congo? And we had peace negotiations. The majority of the participants in the negotiations were Congolese. They are Congolese and Rwandese, and they spoke French. So it was only Uganda and Zimbabwe and someone else who were speaking English, and Zambia, which was hosting us. So I was chairman. Later on, I became the chairman of the political committee of the whole group to oversee the implementation of the Lusaka Accord. I was chairman for about 2 years. So in French, for chairman, they say Son Excellence, Monsieur Son Excellence, Monsieur Mbabazi. So at first I was rattled. You see, my background is from Idi Amin. In Idi Amin's time, nobody could, it was an offense to be called president. If you are president, if you call yourself president, maybe you would die. Therefore, if they called you Your Excellency, but We are now in the free Uganda. In Congo, they were now calling me Your Excellency one day. By after 2 years, I was used.
Well, Honorable, my name is Bahati Remy. I work with NBS Television. I appreciate what you
No, I beg your pardon. Sorry, Bahati. I had said I would tell you about the Public Order Management Act. Can I do that first?
Yes.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Sorry.
Okay. You know, I tell you this from my knowledge as a legislator, because I was very heavily involved, even as a government, of course. I was the lead of government business, so I was very much involved in the formulation of it. But I am not going into the history, into details. I'm just giving you my interpretation of the law as it is, which I'm sure you are free to read and reach your own conclusions. My recent pronouncement to contest for president in the general elections next year has brewed a lot of legal and political debates. The focus being on my announced plan of consultations as an aspirant countrywide. I did indicate to the authorities, as you know, that is the Electoral Commission, the police, the local government. I've written to all of them in compliance with the law that I will be holding such public meetings in their areas. And in my view, nobody has the power to, or even role to hold the conduct of public meetings. Nobody. And I'm saying this for the benefit of everybody, all people involved. And of course, I refer you to the Constitution of Uganda, the Public Order Management Act itself, the Penal Code Act, Chapter 120, the Traffic and Road Safety Act, 1998, the Political Parties and Organizations Act, 2005. In the enjoyment of rights and freedoms enshrined under the Constitution, crowds are likely to be constituted. You know, the right and freedom to assemble or to demonstrate. You may do it as one person. You know, during walk to work, remember there was walk to work? When the messenger moved, crowds gathered. But when Odongo To moved, he was alone. But both of them were exercising their right to demonstrate. Crowd disorder is a significant social problem that costs millions in resources and work hours, and has considerable human cost in terms of injury, arrest, and imprisonment. Previous solutions for managing such disorder have only magnified the problem, e.g., the use of violence or coercion by the police, or the infringement on human rights by the state machinery. The case of Mwanga Chivumbi, which I keep referring to, which I'm sure all of you are aware of, challenged the section of the law that gave power to act like that. And subsection 2 of section 32 of that Police Act was nullified by the Constitutional Court on the grounds that it was unconstitutional. It was declared null and void. That is the section that gave power to the police to grant permission to demonstrate in the enjoyment of rights and freedoms as I have mentioned. But police was violating the Constitution by the declaration of the Constitutional Court. And we were conscious of the role of police. Even the court did mention this in their ruling, to maintain peace, to maintain law and order. We therefore made a decision in government then, in compliance with that judgment, to enact a law to define the role of police in public demonstrations and how their duty to maintain peace, to maintain law and order would be performed in light of the ruling of the court that they had no power to stop any of those activities. So in that law, the Public Order Management Act, the power of the Inspector General of Police or authorized officer was restricted to regulate the conduct of all public meetings. Regulate. This is in Section 3 of that Act. Police neither has authority nor a role in organization or conduct of public meetings. None whatsoever. In fact, Section 2, subsection 2 of the Public Order Management Act define the meaning of regulate to be as to ensure that conduct or behavior of those who have gathered conforms to the requirements of the law, of the Constitution particularly. And Section 9 of that Act enjoined police to preserve law and order before, during, and after the public meeting, and in particular, just in summary, A, provide security for both participants. Just provide security. So when I give them notice that I'm going to hold a public meeting at Koloro here, they should come and just protect me. Ensure fairness and equal treatment of all parties. Carry out risk assessment before the public meeting and notify the organizer. Should the police hear that the terrorists are planning to come and cause havoc at the public meeting, it is their duty to come and inform the organizer. This is what the law is saying. Inform the organizer. They are not saying disperse. They are not saying disperse the assembly. No. Inform the organizer. And then identify an appropriate traffic jam to allow the flow, to the venue. Direct traffic, disperse defiant or unruly crowds at a public meeting. If they become unruly, then the police has a duty to perform its job of maintaining peace. So upon receipt of the notice that the organizer is required by law to give, the IGP or authorized officer is enjoined by Section 6 of that Act, where it is not possible to hold the proposed public meeting for reasons that there was an earlier notice at the same venue with the same time and date, or that the venue is unsuitable for purposes of crowd and traffic control. They will notify the organizer or the agent within 48 hours. Then they may suggest that the organizer changes his time or her time from, say, morning to afternoon, or it would be up to the organizer, not up to them. And then the law under Section 10 distributes responsibilities to organizers and participants. So, my team of lawyers have written to the police as they wrote to the Electoral Commission, suggesting that we should meet because, as I have said before, I am a stickler to the rule of law. So in case there is a misunderstanding, if they have another interpretation, we would like to meet with them, with the police, with the Electoral Commission, and harmonize all this so that our right and freedom to hold public meetings is not either interfered with or curtailed by unlawful actions of the police. So I'm looking forward to a possible meeting, maybe today, tomorrow, before Thursday, when we begin our meetings in Mbale, at which we will all be agreed on what the law is, what should be done, and so on and so forth. And I do hope that that will happen so that we don't have the kind of katemba that we have been seeing in the past regarding public meetings. Okay. I think I've... no more. I'm not going to say no more.
So, question time. We go with NBS once again.
Well, Honorable Amama Mbabazi, by declaring and demanding for change, I know it's your constitutional right, but reports on the ground say you're not alone, that you're acting for the Western world. The Western countries which want President Museveni out of power because of his relations with China, and particularly America. And this is justified when you chose, after your YouTube declaration, you chose to go to the Western media, that's VOA, and you chose to speak to them first before reaching the local media. How do you respond to such an allegation?
Thank you. Number 2. Your name, media house, one question.
Wait. How many questions? I thought I was going to answer one by one.
Round of 5.
5. Okay. I was not ready. Okay. So, Western agent. Number 2.
My name is Shiran Duchre from NTV Uganda. My question is about, you've said in the past that you'll head the transition, or you'll just serve for a transitional government leading connecting the new generation, and the Democratic Alliance has also said the same. What is your stand on the Democratic Alliance? Because we've not heard from you ever since you signed, or you were supposed to sign that protocol about 2 months ago. Have you signed that protocol? And are you the transitional leader that the TDA is talking about? And 2, you have said in the past as well, if I could quote March 2014, that you'll never stand against President Yoweri Museveni. President Yoweri Museveni is still here. Why have you changed your mind?
Sorry. I had shut off because I was told that it was one question, so I missed the second one because
the second one was, why did you change
I
your
wasn't
mind?
listening because I listened. I have programmed my brain to
The question was,
take one question at a time.
Honorable, the question was, in March 2014, while meeting journalists in your office, you said you'll never stand against President Yoweri Museveni. President Yoweri Museveni is still here. Why are you changing your mind?
Thank you. Number 3, if you do not have a question, please just say pass so we can move to the next number.
Honorable, my name is Kasatu Fred. I work with CBS Radio.
Kasatu
Fred.
Okay.
CBS. I remember one time you said you will not stand against President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in case any other members choose him as a flag bearer. Do you still stand by that position? Secondly, I'd like to know, this could be the burning one to my side.
You will ask it again. Number 4, please.
I'm Deo Waswa, and I work with Capital Radio. My question is, last month, the NRM leaders in Eastern, they came out and said that they are not ready to welcome you during your consultation meetings in Eastern region. Yet you are beginning with Imbali. Just I need your take on that question.
Thank you very much. Question number 5, our last one for the first session.
Thank you, Honorable. I'm called Kato Dennis. I work with Channel 44 Television.
You're called who?
Kato Dennis. I work with Channel 44.
Kato Dennis?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mine is almost similar to that of Kasato.
Can you ask another one?
But still, we needed to know when you are opening up your offices across the country.
Thank you very much. Honorable Amama Mbabazi will take those 5, then we will take from number 6 to 10. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I an agent of Western powers? I am not, because they have not even approached me. I had not even thought about it. Mbabazi being an agent of another country in his own country, that is not possible. Oh, but Madam Bahati, you should learn a little more about we, the individuals. That is, I'm not aware of it. But let me also say this. You know, I repeated what I said in the statement the other time today, that my intention is to do everything possible to attract heavy investment, both local and foreign. You see, we now live in a globalized world. We don't have sufficient surplus resources in Uganda to invest in the many areas that we want to open. Therefore, we have no choice but to deal with people from outside Uganda in addition to ourselves. Therefore, it is a misconception to say let's isolate ourselves and live like hermits. You know hermits? A hermit is one who does not live with others in a community with the rest of society, who goes into the bush in a cave and lives alone. Please, I don't subscribe to that. But I cannot be an agent of any power, Western or Eastern or Northern or Southern. But I will deal with them in order to promote the interest of my country. Sheila asked, what is your stand on the Democratic Alliance? You know, again, I have made a very clear statement. You know, I was referring to the core values of NRM. One of them was, as you all know, I'm sure, unity of Ugandans. I subscribe and very much support the idea of maintaining the unity of Ugandans. That idea of inclusiveness, having, you know, we have such gigantic challenges that we will be better off if we acted together, because we will be stronger. In many countries, when they face these challenges, they unite. You know that. They unite. Even if it is government and opposition, they call it a bipartisan approach to issues of national interest. So I subscribe very much to that idea. And I think the politics of division, the politics of adversity, being acting as if we are adversaries, is politics of the past, and is politics we must move away from. I subscribe to the idea that we should listen to each other, we should be open, we should find some common ground so that we build a political, what we call a minimum political program, which we can then push together. We put aside what differentiates us, get what we have in common, and push together forward. That is the idea.
So are you the transitional leader that they're talking about? Because they also suggest that there will be a transitional candidate of the party. Are you going to offer yourself for that?
Am I the transition? I have not sat with them to discuss the leadership. I am in NRM, still trying to find my way in NRM. Shira, I am still trying to find my way in NRM. Okay, I'll say that another time. Mr. Kasato raised the question of Sheila as to whether, well, although it was, who is Kasato?
Yes, I mean, it's like a bear. In case it
I understood, I didn't ask you to explain. I just wanted, I hadn't seen you before. Yeah. Sheila had said, I had stated that I would never stand against President Museveni. Why is there a change of mind now? Kasato says, at one time you said you would not stand against Museveni if Museveni was chosen by NRM. Kasato is right, Sheila is not right. That's precisely what I said. I was asked at a press conference after Chankwanzi whether I was considering standing against President Museveni. I said that if President Museveni was the chosen flag bearer of NRM, I would not Is it okay? I can go ahead. Okay. You know, I'm very sensitive to body language. I would not stand against the chosen flag bearer of NRM, even if it was someone else. Not only Museveni, anyone else. If the NRM chose my friend, say, Professor Bukenya, I would happily go along. But of course, chose meant through a democratic process. If NRM adhered to a transparent democratic process and that process produced a result, which result truly reflected the wishes of members of the party, I would comply with it, obviously. But I have said since that time, since I made that press conference, that taking into account the various events in the party itself, doubt has been raised in my mind on whether, in fact, NRM will take that path of transparency and democracy. And I have stated, and I want to repeat that today, that if NRM is not transparent, is not democratic, those who have chosen that other path are free to continue with it. I will stick to the democratic path. Okay? Okay. I think that's okay. Mr. Waswa, leaders in Eastern Uganda have said that they would not receive me in Eastern Uganda. I was in I was in Kaliro yesterday. Did you see me? You people, you don't watch news.
The Mammoth crowd.
Yes. The Mammoth crowd didn't come to meet me. They didn't come to meet me, they came for pilgrimage. Why were you not there? Some of you were not there. Hmm? You'll be there next time. You see, NTV is leading in this. Who else was there? NTV and who? And who?
Monitor was there.
Monitor, yes. Yes, yes. Oh, you even have that. That was a great preacher. That man, amazing. I didn't know him before. Yesterday I learned something about Christianity that I had heard about, but it has not sunk in me as it did yesterday. I was there with the chairman of the district, with the Prince, His Royal Highness there in Kaliro. I thought Kaliro was in eastern Uganda. Is it? Or was it pushed to the north? And the police asked the organizers, they said, who invited Mbabazi here? These guys said, this is a public place, it's open to the public. So we'll wait and see. Dale, you're here. What were you suggesting? That I give up? You know, I am sure that there are people there who would not wish to welcome me. But you know, I thought we are in which century is this? 21st century. Did you see what happened in Gulu? You know, it gave me memories of centuries back. Those things used to happen in the past. Remember? Even in Uganda. That attitude. That's the kind of attitude that actually caused all these problems in Uganda for a long time. But you know, for me, did I tell you that I have always been a sportsman? I was an athlete. I used to run fast races. I even ran marathon actually. And there are a few things you learn when you are an athlete. If you are running, say 100 meters, you know that race. If don't look back, just go. Don't look back. If you look back, you slow yourself. In fact, if you really look back, you stop. Do you think about it? If you look back meaning you turn 180 degrees, you will stop, you will not move forward. For me, I am moving forward. I will not look back. Nothing is going to tie me and push me on the ground, stop my speed. We are moving forward, and we want to look forward, not to look behind. Okay? We don't want to be tied down like that. So, those who proclaim they belong to the past, we shall leave them in the past. For us, we are looking at what we do today to change our tomorrow. We need to act now. As I said in my statement, it is very critical that we take actions now which will determine what tomorrow will look like. And that's the approach. The other one is Kato Dennis of 44 TV, Channel 44 TV. Okay. When am I going to open offices? Let me tell you my expectation. I'll go through these consultations. They'll take approximately 1 month. Then I will have an idea whether I really have support or I don't. Because my expectation is that when I invite people to come, they will come and listen to me. They don't have to be my supporters to attend my meeting. No, you come and listen. And then tell me your opinion after the interaction. Like I want you at the end of this session tell me whether you think the press conference was all right or wasn't. Let me give you a question in advance so that you think about it. So at the end of the day, I will see how it has gone, and that will determine many things. But I have not gone into the full campaign mode because I'm carrying out consultations, not campaign yet. Okay? So when I go to that stage, of course, we are going to have offices all over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. We'll now go to our next set of 5 questions. Number 6, your name, media house, and 1 question, please.
Hi, sir. Thanks. I'm Amy Fallon from AFP News Agency.
What's your name?
Amy Fallon.
Amy
Fallon, Fallon, from AFP, Agence France Presse News Agency. I just wanted to ask, if you say that you want to run for NRM, if things don't pan out the way you want them to, where am I meant to be speaking? Both, sorry. If things don't pan out the way you want them to, or you know you're obstructed in some way, or something happens, are you open to running on another ticket, for if you can, for another party? And are you prepared to work with any other figures, whether it's Bezzy J, whether it's Seduce or anyone else, or is that something that you absolutely rule out, if that's what it takes to get peaceful transition, which you say that you desperately want? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Amy. Number 7.
Thank you, Honorable Mama. My name is Rachel Nakasi. I work for Bukede TV.
Louder, please.
My name is Rachel Nakasi. I work for Bukede TV. My question is,
Agatari Konfufu?
yeah, and Agabutikide.
Okay.
Thank you. My question is, if you, as you're trying to find your way in the NRM, if you fail to make it in the primaries, are you going to come as independent, or you'll quit the game? Thank you.
Number 8.
Thank you. I'm Kenneth Kazube. I write for Chimp Reports.
Who?
Chimp Reports.
Kazube who?
Kenneth. I'm asking, confirm whether you are going for the meeting in Mbale despite warnings by the IGP that you should not go.
Okay. Question number 9. Please come over.
Hi, Bo. I'm working for Top Radio. I'm calling Nkonge Thomas.
Who?
Nkonge Thomas. I'm
Nkonge.
working for Top Radio FM. Yes.
Nkonge, Top FM.
Yes.
Okay.
There are some questions being raised nowadays by the government that you were involved in a Katosi saga. Won't it affect your campaign?
Kato Saga?
Yes.
Katosi.
Katosi.
The construction of Katosi Road.
Katosi?
Yes.
Hey, I've not heard that one.
Question 10, our last question.
No, I want to hear more. Sorry.
Please expound your question.
Who said that?
There is a team of lawyers which was pressed to make research about what happened in the Katosi Road in Mukono district. That today we've got the information that your name was also mentioned that you were involved in the Katosi saga.
Meaning, that's a blunt statement.
Yes.
So, do you have any more information than what you have said?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. Number 10.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Edward Muhumuza. I work for Urban TV and TV West. As a journalist, I've spoken to very many people, those in the opposition alliance, and plenty of civilians. You are very influential in the process that removed term limits, and very many people did not like it. And those in the alliance said Mbabazi owes Ugandans an apology. Do you feel you should apologize to the country for what you did? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Urban TV. Honorable will take that set of questions before we move on to the next 5. Thank you.
Okay. Amy, will you run on another ticket, or will you forge an alliance with any other contestant? I think I have answered one part already, which is that I'm stating a point of principle that I subscribe to a certain viewpoint in NRM. I belong to that category of people who want to push the democratic path, and I've said if others choose another path, they are free, of course. I will not abandon the democratic path myself. As to whether we will form an alliance or whether we can achieve the unity I talked about even before elections, that's an open question, and I am open actually to that. We can discuss it and see. It would be wonderful if we could reach a consensus and agree on unity beforehand. Then we wouldn't have all this hassle. Rachel, isn't that the same question? Will you be independent of any party? I don't know. Amenarim?
If the system is not transparent.
If people run away from NRM, I will remain NRM.
I think what they're saying is you're going to go for the delegates.
I can't be defeated in NRM, you people. No.
But you can be ripped out.
Yes, that's different.
Yes.
So now, if that's what I'm saying, those who choose rigging have chosen a non-democratic path, and it's their choice.
So what is the democratic path you're talking about exactly?
Openness, transparency, democracy.
Practically speaking.
We shall achieve them. For us who subscribe to that, we remain intact, totally united to move forward. It is only those who will, for instance, choose rigging that will have chosen another path, and they will clearly be going their way.
Does that mean we shall see NRM Mbabazi, NRM 7?
No, there is no, you guys, you see, you people, personalities are important, but they are not the critical question. I want to discuss principles. Really, it doesn't matter the individual, the man, it doesn't matter. Because tomorrow I will not be here. Uganda must march forward. That's what I mean. So it's not, supposing President Museveni now says, I have listened to my long time comrade and brother, and I think I think we should now go for peaceful transition. Uganda will not come to an end. Definitely not. You know that.
Honorable, I think Rachel's
So-
question was about your way forward after Nambole, whether or not you will proceed as
Well,
a single
you know,
candidate.
let's wait and see, because there are many things that are coming up that we'll need to handle. One of them I'm going to talk about, because a question was asked about it. Then we'll see how it moves. Kazibwe Kenneth, the IGP said, don't go to Mbale. Are you going? Of course I'm going. How can you ask? IGP cannot lawfully stop me. He may put a mamba at my gate. Maybe. If he puts a mamba there, and I will jump over it. I'll jump. No, but I answered this. I said I'm hoping that the police and the Electoral Commission will respond. Even the Electoral Commission is not supposed to give me authority, by the way. It's just informing them. I hope they will respond to discuss, and we don't have. Why do they want to raise this temperature in our politics? It's not necessary. Where Thomas Nkonge, he asked me a question. Were you involved in Katosi saga? No. I have no idea at all. I don't even know what the saga is. You mean the cheating which I read in the papers? So they are saying again that I was involved in cheating. Can't they tire of making these false? Can't they make, this effort to throw mud at me? They have tried and tried. They should give up, because it can't stick. Waste of time. Edward Muhumuza says he has talked to very many people, and I'm rephrasing your question. They are angry with my role in removing term limits. Will I apologize? Muhumuza. Apologize for what? Life is not like that. I have said that many times. That I think repeated this either on Capital Gang, or I heard that my I didn't realize that our NTV thing was not concluded last night. So I wasn't watching, so I don't know. I look at it. I don't know what was left out.
The term limit thing was captured.
But I have said many times that I am proud of the part I have played in delivering the achievements NRM has delivered to Uganda over the last 30 years. I'm very proud of my role. I have also said that Of course, there are mistakes, and I have said that I take responsibility, collective responsibility. You see, you have to take collective responsibility. I have never said those were this. I don't think it's a good idea. But in the case of the term limits, I have stated many times, and I said so in these interviews, that the reasoning which I had, both in 1994, this is the argument I presented before the Constitution was promulgated. And I was defeated in our own caucus, even if I was the chairman of the caucus. And I have said that those reasons are still sound today. They supported term limits. However, with the experience I've had, it has become obvious to me that the basis on which, for instance, the question of choice makes sense does not exist. Or conditions may exist in a country where free choice may not be possible. So, in that sense, therefore, I am saying that term limits would create an opportunity for those conditions to emerge in society and in a country. Conditions where people are able to make a free choice, a real, conscious, and rational choice. And I have said that I have studied many cases. I mean, Tanzania was giving the question of Tanzania. In many cases, clearly, term limits have reinvigorated government. They have broken up the political class and injected new ideas into the political mainstream. You see, when a leader stays for a very long time, and I had reason to say something about it last time in my statement. I said African politics has shown time and again. I'm actually repeating what President Museveni said some time ago, that African politics has shown time and again the danger of leaving a once great leader cleave to power for too long. Cleaving to power, clinging on to power for too long. And my view is that my message to my elder brother is that you know, when people say so long, you know, a cluster evolves around them and it becomes narrower and narrower. So term limits help to break up that political class, and you know, new people come up, new ideas come up, so they bring new perspectives, and that arguably introduces higher quality, more richly experienced, and more diverse pool of candidates. So that, like in Tanzania now, where you have 44 contenders in the party, obviously you expect that there will be an infusion of new blood and ideas into CCM itself. I am sorry to talk about CCM. I hope they will not be offended by the things I'm saying. Maybe I should stop talking about other people. So the other thing term limits do, they they weaken the relationship between careerist politicians and special interest lobbyists. You know, this is the experience I have now. Lobbyists, people, that's why you find leaders becoming, okay, you guys are putting me in a situation where I'm telling you much more than I intended, because I'll be saying this as time comes. So therefore, Mr. Mhumza, my idea, and this is to the public, my idea is that yes, those were good reasons, but the conditions which exist, I think, would be handled better and more effectively if we had term limits. But all the things, the decisions that I made in the government were done out of good faith, and even where there were mistakes, where I was involved in the making of those excuse me, you're obstructing television, and you know that would be my response. Certainly that I have always meant well. I meant these for the public good, even if they turned out to be mistaken. Okay. I thought you said that was the last group.
No.
You have more?
We would like to give fair chance to everybody. We have about 26 media houses represented, and we're only halfway done.
And we have done 10 in 1.5 hours.
Yeah, we need to move faster. So I'd like number 10, number 11 to 14 to 15. Please come over here so we can just ask the questions without making too many movements. Otherwise, we are obstructing the cameras. Number 11.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Moses Chayune from Radio Simba.
Moses who?
Chayune.
China.
Chayune.
Chayune.
Yeah, not Chayune. Anyway, there is
Simba.
Yes, Radio Simba. There is an allegation that has actually come out in the media that you are fronting a certain candidate on sectarian grounds against the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. If this is true, how safe are you politically in Busoga? And two, are you sectarian?
Thank you very much. Number 12. Please come round this side so we don't make so many movements.
But
number 12, number 13.
Just a second. Mr. Chayune, you see, if you don't give me, so what is this sectarian bit? I'm pushing a woman against a man, or
no,
religion, sectarian how?
You are fronting
who? What does
a
she
candidate.
say?
She says you have a candidate you're funding.
Did she say who?
Because she's a Muchiga and you're also a Muchiga against her.
Hey.
She says Busoga is a place of 4 million people. And there is also a region for the Bachiga and the Banyankole, and she's wondering why the Bachiga and the Banyankole want to direct their affairs in Busoga. But
wait,
I got to my question.
I've not read this. Did you publish it?
The interview is in the Observer today.
Of today, I haven't read it.
My name is Saddam Chitatayo.
No, Saddam, wait. Because I'm interested in this one. So this is Kadaga. Which Kadaga is this? The Speaker. The Speaker of Parliament.
Yes.
Saying this. Are you sure? So who is standing against her? There is a Muchiga there. In Kamuli or in Uganda?
President Museveni had also linked to some of the tapes that was made in Uganda as sectarian tapes.
These are desperate. You know, desperate situations lead to desperate measures. This one I can answer now straight away, Chayune. Of course, there is no truth in it, and I am surprised. And really, I don't want to give credibility to this sectarian talk. I will not respond to it because it is pedestrian? My answer is that talk is pedestrian. Thank you. Next question.
Yes, Sandam Chitata. I work with the Observer newspaper. Honorable Mbabazi, from your statements here, there is a statement you made, and in my interpretation, you wanted to mean that the president is a traitor, because you said that traitors are those that have moved away from the original principles of the movement. Hours after you had made your declaration, the president also put out a video recording which was circulated around, and so many issues he said that you owed us an explanation. You have been in government for so many years, and the president is linking you to some of the failures that the government is being accused of, the tiredness that you said is that you accused the government of. I just want to have your word on that one.
Thank you. Number 13. Oh, where are we? Number 13. There is no number 13. Please come if you have a question. Who is number 13? Please, let's save some time. Number 14, right behind him.
You know, you don't have to come this way. You can speak from where you are.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Herbert Ziwa. I work with KFM. I'm sorry most of my colleagues have asked in English, but I beg that I ask in Luganda. Ku nteekateeka zo ez'okugenda Embale, poliisi ekyagamba nti ogenda kuyimirizibwa, onaagenda n'omukono ki gwe walina mu kuyisa etteeka erya Public Order Management Bill. Abamu bagamba nti litandise okukwatako gwe mwennyini yaliyisa. Ensonga ezo zoogerako ki?
Okay, that could be a repetition. Number 14.
I'm Resident Kasasara from Data Monitor. Honorable Minister, Honorable Amama Mbabazi, there are reports that
you are Kasasara who?
Risder. Risder from Data Monitor.
Risder.
Risder? Yes.
Hey, how do you write that one?
R-I-S-D-R.
R-I-S-D-R. Risder.
Yep.
From where?
From Data Monitor.
Okay.
There are reports that President Museveni promised to quit in 2016 and support you as the NRM flag bearer, and it's that breach of promise that is making you to stand. Did he make such promise to you?
Thank you, Risdale. Our last question for this session, number 15. Number 15, do you have a question? Please get a number. We don't have number 15. Let's go to 16. Number 16, do you have a question? There is no 16. Let's go to 17. We would like to make it fair for everybody. Please.
Thank you very much, Honorable John Patrick Amama Mbabazi. I'm Julius Senkandwa from NTV. I have one question. I want to take you back some years back.
Julius
Senkandwa.
Senkandwa?
Yes, sir. I remember some time back you made a statement against Dr. Kizza Besigye when he came out to contest against President Yoweri Museveni. You said he had skipped the queue. Aren't you doing the same?
Okay. I think let's go up to 20. Number 18. Sheila, please be patient. Let's give everybody a fair chance. Number 18, if you're not there, number 19.
I thought we are having five at a time.
Yeah.
These are already 5.
We'd just like to buy time. Number 19.
But you may find they have the same questions, so they don't have to...
Okay. Number 20. Before I give another chance to somebody who's asked already, let's be fair. If there is no 20, let Honorable take those questions, then we'll move on.
I hope we'll have the last round, because I can't go beyond 12. Moses Chayuna, I answered you. Okay? Where is Moses? He left. He went to report my answer. But let me say, I've heard what the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga has been saying, even in voice. And I would like to say that certainly I have not been doing any of those things. I have not been campaigning against her. I don't even know who is standing against her and in what position, whether as an MP or one time she had expressed a desire for president. Has she abandoned? That's why I wanted Cheyune to help me. Cheyune, Moses. So, but I would like to appeal to my colleague, the Right Honorable Kadaga, to desist from that sectarian talk that she has been involved in. Sectarian talk against Bachiga, sectarian talk against Banyankore, sectarian talk against Banyarwanda. It's not necessary. We're all Ugandans. Let's not look at each other with tribal lenses or religious lenses. Yesterday, we had a great sermon from Reverend Father Luzinda at Saint Gonza Day in Kamuli. And he told us his life history, where he came from. He was a street guy. His father couldn't pay fees. He stopped in P3. He was picked by a Muslim. It was a Muslim that brought him up to, he took him through secondary school. So he was making a powerful point. Don't be sectarian. You never know, actually, who will come to your rescue. What religion, what tribe they belong to. Why should you... Anyway, my point is, could my dear sister desist from that sectarian talk? It's not helpful, and it's not reflective of a national leader. My friend Saddam says I implied that President Museveni is a traitor. No, I didn't. Of course not. I have not said that President Museveni is taking an undemocratic path. No. Challenging him. No. That's not true. I didn't mean that, and I'm glad you asked, because you may go and say my interpretation is this. Please be informed that I didn't have him in mind at all. I have said those who choose to take, because we are on the way now. Those who choose to take that path will be the traitors. Not me, who will have chosen to stick to the core principles of our revolution. You know, on the question of my longevity in government and owing explanation to the public, I need to hear more about what explanation I owe. Because my point is, under our arrangements, executive power is vested in the president. That's our constitution. All power, 100%. And everyone else who exercises any power in the government is doing so on delegation by the president. So I am talking about reforms, talking about changes. So the question is, if you have been in government for so long, what changes will you bring about if you didn't do so in the last 30 years? Of course I didn't, because I didn't have the power to do so. Now that's why I'm asking Ugandans to give me the power so that we can bring about the changes that I'm proposing. yabatiziwa Mbale nja kugenda Mbale nja kugenda lwa nsonga teri ekingana nze ndi Omunayuganda n'omuntu yenna mulala alina olukusa kubeera mu Uganda alina emirembe okutambula n'olwekyo Mbale nja kugenda jo mwandabye ekaliro naze ne poliisi kubo lyonna good bamperekere si kibi naye abamateeka balooya bange bawandikidde poliisi okuviira mu Inspector General Kaihura gye yawandiika mu baluwa ye boogere ku kino balabe oba waliwo oba waliwo oba kisoboka okukkirizaganya amateeka kyegoogera lwa nsonga nze njagala kukolera kuki ku mateeka saagala kumenya mateeka n'olwekyo poliisi erina obuvunaanyizibwa obw'okulabira amateeka mu ggwanga saidi yange bawandikidde ne bagamba kale katusinkane mutubuulire ekizibu ekimulaba kiki bino tubimale tetunagenda wa Embale n'olwekyo nze ndina essuubi nti bino byonna tujja kubyogerako etteeka lino erya Public Order Management Act terina kizibu ate nga bwe njogedde ennaku zino eziyiseko nze siraba kizibu n'etteeka eryo ebyo General Kaihura byayogera mu bbaluwa ye n'abalala poliisi bendaba ku TV bagamba nti bano tetujja kubakkiriza biki abo be bamenya etteeka eryo be bamenya ki Public Order Management Act ate nja kubagamba bwe tunasinkana nze ndina obuvunaanyizibwa ng'omukulembeze okubabuulira nti bino bye bakola bikyamu bimenya etteeka Kasasira Ruisdale says, did President Museveni promise to support you for president? You know, I've had many discussions with President Museveni about leadership, about transition. These are matters, obviously, that I don't want to bring into the public domain. It's not necessary. Whether he promised or not, it is irrelevant now because we are in a situation where I've come up, I've declared. I hope he will support me. Has he told you he doesn't? Because there is an assumption that President Museveni doesn't support me. I don't know the basis of that assumption. I am trying my best. He's one of those I really try to persuade, support my candidature. Julius Senkanda says, I made a statement in 1999 against Chiza Besigye that he had jumped the queue. No, that was not against him. Senkanda. That was not against him. That was not against Chiza Besigye. That was a point of fact. Because we had individual merit, those days it was movement, and the situation was different. And as I said, I don't really want to look back or to allow myself to be tied to the past. Because I'm moving forward. We are a forward movement, not a backward movement. Forward we move, isn't it? So now we are under a different political dispensation, multi-party, and of course each party chooses its leadership through a democratic process. We are all enjoined by the Constitution to conform to democratic principles. So the question of a queue does not arise, therefore. Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll take our last round, number 21 to 26, and then we will call it a day. We're running out of time. Really. Number 21.
Honorable Mbabazi, my name is Michael Baleke.
Mike?
Michael Baleke. I work for CCTV Africa. Honorable Mbabazi, the matters of discussions here about taking over power and taking over government, you're talking about moving forward and talking about reforms and changes. Once you take over power, what is your Pan-African strategy? Uganda is in Congo, Uganda is in Somalia, the boys and men of this country are in South Sudan and Central African Republic. We have issues, border issues with the DR Congo. What are your discussions? What are you talking about this? Honorable.
Thank you very much, CCTV. Number 22. The name, media house, and question.
I'm Mubiru Ali. I work with Radio Pearl FM.
Mubiru?
Ali.
You work with?
Pearl FM.
Yes.
But I'm going to ask you in Uganda.
Okay.
Honorable, abavubuka tulaba police evaayo nekwata abavubuka abambala t-shirts zo n'abo baba batimbye ebipande ate natula ebipande ebirala ebyabannabyabufuzi abalala abakuvuganya oba boli nabo mu lwokaano byo bitimbibwa ne tebabakwatako ekintu kyogenda kikola otya n'ekirala kyenjagala okunyambakoko Honorable ti senga obeera akamyufu ogudde mu kamyufu toyiseemu ogenda kujjanga independent okwesimbawo mu Luganda.
Okay, number 23.
Honorable, my name is Moses Molondo. I am from the New Vision. Honorable,
Hey, this is the first time New Vision is coming to my press conference. In the recent past.
Actually, I have a complaint. We had not been invited for this press conference. I just got to know about it from a colleague.
Is it?
And you know we are the leading media house in the country. I don't know whether it's deliberate.
No, I agree with you.
Yes. Now, my question.
But that means your address is unknown.
I don't know what the problem was.
Because I announced publicly, and I think this was published, that I would be holding a press conference today. So New Vision needs to be a little more alert.
Now, my question is,
okay, Moses.
You've ever since you declared your willingness to take over the leadership of the country, you've been talking many times about the issue of good governance. There is a school of thought that for this country to have good, sustainable governance, we need to, since we are a country of so many nations, so many tribes, we need to go federal. You are aware that recently the central government has returned the properties Buganda Kingdom has been craving for all along. But their biggest agitation is the federal system of governance. But also other regions have been agitating for the same. We would like to know what your position is on that agitation. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's take number 24. Number 24. Okay, 25. It's nobody for 25. 26. Pardon? You didn't get a number? Okay, 28.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I'm John Serwaniko from Red Pepper.
Louder, please.
I'm John Serwaniko from Red Pepper. I came a bit late, and I would like to apologize for that because I got this notice very late. I hope what I'm talking about is not something which people have raised already. Honorable, in 2001, Dr. Besigye came to the scene the way you are beginning to do right now. But it was clear that apart from himself and Honorable Byanyima, he had other people like Galuga Msingus, people like Honorable Sam Njuba, and many others. So my question is, how soon are we likely to know those people in NRM that happen to share your view, that happen to agree with you in the positions you are taking in the run-up to next year's elections? Thank you.
Okay. Good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll take two burning questions, one from Sheila and one from...
Thank you. Honorable, Alex Sagala from Capital Radio.
Oh, I thought you were Sheila. Because you said Sheila and... you are Alex?
Alex Sagala from Capital Radio.
Sagara?
Yes.
Okay.
Honorable, you have been talking about term limits. In the case you go through as the president in 2016, how many terms are you going to serve? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the second opportunity. I've covered you quite extensively, Honorable Mbabazi, and you've always said you'll come out to explain your stand on different policies, including education, health, and all these things. When is that time? Because we would want to know your alternatives. Apart from just saying you're coming out to stand against President Museveni, we would want to know your alternatives regarding these policies, and especially the economy as it is now, where it is at its worst, the shilling is at its worst, you know, against the dollar. Your comment, and what are your alternatives? What are your alternative policies?
Okay, thank you very much. Michael Baleke, what is my Pan-African strategy, and what do I say about our military presence in several countries? Well, I'm a Pan-Africanist, first and foremost. I have always been. And I subscribe to the NRM and actually the president's policy on Pan-Africanism. I believe Uganda is doing the right thing to deploy forces in areas that need our help. We are just helping in situations clearly that we at one time were in as a country, and we got out through the help of Pan-Africanist forces like Tanzania, President Nyerere, and others. So I fully subscribe to that. And I also believe in the integration of Africa. And therefore, I think African countries should desist from wasting their energy and their resources and time in fighting over border disputes. We should be working towards the removal of these artificial borders and creating a border, because unless we create a bigger entity in Africa, we will always be held back. So I certainly believe in that. And I believe in peaceful resolution of whatever disagreements there may be, both internally within the parties and between the countries. I genuinely and passionately believe in peaceful resolution of whatever disagreements there are. And I know it's possible. We don't have to fight in order to resolve whatever difference we may have. Mubiru Ali, police obweda ekwata aboogera nti bawagira Mbabazi. Ekisooka, abawagira Mbabazi tebalina musango. Okuwagira Mbabazi si musango. Okwambala t-shirt ya Mbabazi si musango. Bamenye teeka ki teririiwo. Kyolaba kyolabira nti bwe babatwala mu kooti tebalina kye babavunaana. Oba bajenga Luganda oba Lukiga jinga charges okiyita otya misango sango. Kyowulidde ffe tulina baloya baffe bwe bakikolako ffe tuli b'amateeka tugendera ku mateeka tetwagala kumenya ate abo poliisi emenya mateeka. Ate ekiswaza nnyo okulaba nti oludda lumu babakwata abalala bakola birala, babakola ki babayerekera ne babakuuma. Naye nze manyi nti Abanyayuganda balina mu maaso bonna balaba ate balina ki bwonko nabo bategeera. Abo abayita bisolo balina ebizibu. Moses Mulondo, question anti nze mpulira kimu kyokka bwe mpulira kimu. Moses Mulondo well, this is in English. He says there is demand for federal. What is my opinion on it? My opinion has been articulated many times before. My opinion was clearly articulated in the many discussions that I led with Mengo and others during the period of amendment of the Constitution in 2005. I always support, first of all, as I said in the CA in 1994, we must take Uganda as it is, not as we wish it to be. Where is Uganda? We should take it where it is and handle it with a view to changing it, obviously, for the better, but realistically taking into account what it is today. And my view has always been that we need to be accommodative. Different parts of Uganda have different views, have different levels of development, and what I said in my statement is that we should adopt policies that ensure equitable development of all regions, all communities, where every community, every region benefits from decisions of government. As to the organization and delivery of services, I have flexibility. It depends on many issues, depends on the conditions. So these are things we should study and do or take the most practical and prudent decisions over the time. John Senkuriko, Serwaniko, sorry, Red Pepper. When Chiza Besigye came up whichever time, he had people of substance like Njuba, like Garuga Musingzi with him. Whom do you have? I have not come out. This is a mistake you people make. Everyone, not everyone, but some of you assume that I have come out of NRM. Can I repeat? I have not come out of NRM. I am working within NRM. So my supporters are the structures of NRM everywhere. There is nobody left behind. So for me, I'm not going with individuals. That's why I'm very firm, my friend.
I meant in terms of people who agree with you, who share your views, not necessarily leaving NRM, but within, in what you are saying, people who are in agreement with the views that you are putting across.
But why don't you ask it the other way? You have come out. How many people have opposed you? You see my point? You know, they have been, come out and denounce the aspirations of how many have come out. For me, I am in the movement. I'm working within the structures. All those people in those structures, I agree with me. And that's why you see some panic and intimidation sometimes when I talk about the strength of my... Anyway. Alex Esagara, how many times if you win? Even if we did not amend the constitution to impose term limits, my commitment is to serve one term in order, because mine will be to preside over the transition that I've talked about. The transition of leadership from our generation to the next. I believe it can be achieved in 5 years, and it should not take beyond 10 more years, even if it was necessary. But my commitment would be one term. If people felt that there are critical things that we needed to finish, then of course I wouldn't go beyond 10 maximum.
I'm sorry,
you don't have to apologize for it.
For interjecting, because you revolutionaries, when you came out of the bush in 1986, there was a commitment to, was it 4 years? And 4 years have now turned into 30 years. You're telling us you're committed to one term as a president. What assurance are you giving us?
One term or?
One term of a transition government.
Oh.
Now.
No. I want you. You see, don't go and give partial. This is what Shira was saying. You see. Because.
Okay, according to the Ugandan constitution, a presidential term is 5 years.
Yes.
So, if you say you're committed to one term, that to me suggests
I'm committed to finishing that transition process in 5 years, one term.
Yes.
If we don't, I said it cannot possibly last 10. It's not possible. It must be done.
Now, what if it fails in 10 years? Because, like I said earlier on, you people from the bush came saying that okay, I'm sorry, the NRM revolutionaries. Of course, NRM revolutionaries came from the bush. You came with a promise of 4 years, after which we are going to transit into a democracy. 4 years have turned into 30 years. So, how do you want us to believe you that you're committing yourself to one term, or possibly 10 years?
Chitata, where were you when we made that commitment?
I was in school.
No,
I'm not here. At least I was in school.
Yeah, in which school?
I was in a primary school down in Masaka.
Okay. So, let me correct this. In 1986, we said we had taken power. Of course, we issued an instrument of that taking of power, which in effect would serve as the constitution until, for 4 years, until we had put in place a new constitution and adopted a democratic political dispensation. That's what we said. In 4 years, it was obvious that we would not be ready. We expanded the NRC in 1989. It became bigger. The NRC, which we came with from the bush, was expanded, and all districts elected representatives through an indirect method, district councils acting as electoral colleges to elect these people back into NRC. Then we put up a what do you call it? The Odoki Commission, constitutional commission, and obviously we had to wait because this constitutional commission traversed the whole country. They went to every part. They listened to any presentation from experts, from all sorts of people, and they produced a report. In 1994, a constituent assembly was elected by adult suffrage to go and promulgate that constitution. That constitution is the constitution which we have today, that was promulgated in 1995. Now, this clearly is a process taking into account the history of Uganda that we had to go through if the constitution was to reflect the wishes of the people. And that's what we achieved. So, really there was no... It's true that we did not have a changeover after 4 years in 1990 because of those processes that I'm telling you. But actually, by 1994 and therefore 1995, which was 9 years later, we had a constitution, and in 1996 we had the first democratic election in the history of Uganda where a president was elected by adult suffrage. So that was consistent with our promise to democratize Uganda. And Uganda really is democratic. There are just hitches here and there. I'm talking about in NRM, those who seem to have a tendency to veer off this democratic path. I'm saying if you go alone. For us, we remain on the democratic path. Now, the other one, you know, I told you that really I am a stickler to rules. Yeah. And I'm late already by 15 minutes for another meeting. Sheila was the last one. What are your alternative policies to President Museveni's policies? You know, I'm in NRM, and eventually NRM is going to adopt policies. I am not aware that there are policies that I'm opposing. I said, on the contrary, I have been a major contributor to the formulation of those policies. And I don't consider them Museveni's policies. They are NRM. They are mine. They are, of course, President Museveni's policies. They are NRM policies. The ideas I have, they will be put to the test. The reason why I'm saying I'm not coming out through the open is because we are going to discuss them in the forums. I'll put my ideas across. I hope they will be adopted as NRM policies. But I will be bringing out in the discussions that I will have. Be patient. Patience, Sheila. patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The engagement continues for the next 24 hours on the hashtag #AskAmama. So you can follow us on Twitter with that hashtag. We'll have about 5 minutes for a summary of about 2 questions in Luganda.
Nate tubebaza nnyo bannaffe abadde bagoberera olukuŋŋaana lw'amawulire luno olusookedde ddala olutuuziddwa omukulu John Patrick Amama Mbabazi era ng'ono mpozi ku lwaleero gwe lusookedde ddala naye nga mpozi alina ebintu bingi nnyo byayogeddeko, alina ebintu bingi nnyo bannamawulire bye bamubuuzizza ebitali bimu okuviira ddala lwaki yasalawo okuvaayo okwesimbawo oba okuvuganya omukulembeze w'eggwanga oba okwesimbawo okulaba nti yeeyongera mu maaso okutwala ekibiina kya NRM mu maaso oba okukikiikira oba okikwatira bendera mu kulonda kwa 2016 naye ng'ebintu ebisinga byayogeddeko mwe mubadde ensonga ya demokrasiya naddala mu kibiina ekya NRM n'agamba nti okulaga nno nti ekibiina kya NRM kirina enkola ya demokrasiya muteekwa okubaamu okuvuganya okwa buli munnakibiina yenna era nga y'ensonga lwaki ayagala aveeyo avuganye obwa ssentebe bw'ekibiina kino mpozi nga bwe kiri mu mawanga ng'omuli Tanzania ekibiina kya Chama cha Mapinduzi gye tulaba nno kitutte emyaka egiwerako nga kyekiri mu buyinza era n'alambula engeri kijjo gye kirondamu abakulembeze baakyo era asuubira nti singa Uganda oba ekibiina kya NRM kisobola okukoppa enkola eyo osanga Uganda ejja kuba etambuzibwa maaso bulungi. Tumubuuziza ku nsonga era ezitali zimu okuli ensonga ya poliisi okugenda mu maaso okulaba ng'ekwata abawagizi be naddala abavubuka abamanyiddwa nga the poor youth. Mama Mbabazi agambye nti kikyamu eri poliisi kyekola kyonna olw'ensonga bano bannayuganda balina eddembe lyabwe okusinziira ku ssemateeka okubaako omuntu gwe bawagira n'ekintu kyonna kye bawagira ne poliisi okukozesa eryanyi eringi oba eriyitiridde ku bawagizi be yaba alaba kiba kimenya mateeka era n'agamba ajjageza okulaba ng'agenda mu maaso okulaba ng'ensonga zino aziteeka eri poliisi so ng'ate agamba nno nti ne balooya be agamba nti abakulemberwamu omukulu Fred Mwema agamba nabo bagenda mu maaso okulaba nti bagera ne poliisi naddala ku tteeka lino erikugira enkuba oba enkuŋŋaana oba liwandiise public order management bill public order management law nga lino mpozi yali muziziko gw'amaanyi nnyo mu kulaba nti etteeka lino lireetebwawo mu Uganda era ensonga eno tugimubuuzizza nti essaawa eno tulaba nti ate etteeka lyemuli yaleeta liyitandisa omukozesebwako n'agamba tewali muntu yenna asaanye kukozesa tteeka lino mu bukyamu etteeka lirambula bulungi ki buli muntu kyalina okukola poliisi kyalina okukola omuntu ategese olukuŋŋaana ki kyalina okukola n'olwekyo eri abo abalikozesa obukyamu ate be basaana okuba nti babonerezebwa kubanga bali mu kukozesa etteeka mu bukyamu bamenya mateeka. Ensonga z'okulaba kuba atumbuuziza lwaki ku mulundi guno avuddeyo okuvuganya Pulezidenti Yoweri Museveni naddala mu kibiina kya NRM nga mu mwaka gwa 1999 yavaayo y'omu n'avumirira oba n'ayogera ebigambo ebikambwe eri omukulu Kizza Besigye bwe yagamba nti yali mpozi abuuse olunyiriri lwani asaanidde okudda Pulezidenti Yoweri Museveni mu ntebe n'agamba nti embeera ye yaliwo mu biseera bye yali embeera gye bali bakoleramu ebiseera ebyo ng'ekibiina kya NRM n'embeera eriwo essaawa eno tebikwatagana y'ensonga lwaki ye avuddeyo essaawa eno ate avuddeyo naddala mu kibiina okusinga ate Besigye yavaayo n'adda n'ava mu NRM n'aba nga ayagala kwesimbawo okuvuganya Pulezidenti Yoweri Museveni ng'asinziira ebweru wa NRM naye ye akikoledde mu kibiina era n'aba nti asaanye okuba nno nti tatwalibwa mu bukyamu mu kikolwa kye. Tumubuuziza oba anaagenda Embaale kubanga njagala okukubuulira nti Embaale alina okugendayo ewiiki eno era nga Amama Mbabazi agambye ateekwa okugenda kakibe ki ateekwa okugenda Embaale okulaba nti agenda mu maaso n'enteekateeka ze oba okwebuuza ku bannakibiina ba NRM obanga naddala asaanidde okugenda mu maaso n'okulaba nti nno nti afuna obuwagizi mu bannakibiina kya NRM okwongera mu maaso okulaba oba nti nti bamuwa obwesige okutwala ekibiina kino nga ssentebe waakyo obeera nga omukulembeze oba flag bearer w'ekibiina kino naye nga mpozi byebintu ebimu byetusanye naye ng'ebisingawo tujja kuba tukuleeta mawulire gaffe aga NTV akawungezi teekako ne NTV Tonight byonna ojja kuba obifuna bulungi nnyo wano ku NTV naye nga essaawa eno ngenda kuba nga nkuwate muganda wange Shila Nduukire gwe tubadde naye wano naye mpozi abe nga abatuusaako biki byasobodde okufuna mu lulimi Olungereza. Over to you, Shila.
Tweyanziza Julius Senkandwa. Thank you very much. You've been watching the live beg your pardon, the presser of Honorable Amama Mbabazi, as he talked about some of the different things that have been emerging during the course of these weeks and months since he declared that he will be contesting against his former ally, President Yoweri Museveni. One of the key issues includes the fact that, well, he still insists he will be running first within the NRM and later seek presidency, the nomination across the country, and of course highlighting that police still has no right to stop him from going ahead with his consultations. He spoke a lot about the different policies that he thinks will be coming up, although he remains tight-lipped on what his alternatives will be. He says he'll first present these alternatives before the different forums that he'll be going to in the course of his consultation, which start on July 9th, and that is when he'll be able to come out publicly and talk about the alternative policies that he has as a contender. But also one of the other things is he has said he supports the fact that UPDF is out of the is in different countries because he's a Pan-Africanist, and he says it is right that the country protects other, goes ahead to bring peace and restore peace within the region, but we must we must think about ending these cross-border disputes and not necessarily going out to cause more what you would think is damage in other countries. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be bringing you more details about what transpired here in our subsequent bulletins, NTV Akaungezi and NTV Tonight. But first now, we'll hand you back to normal programming.
But over there, bwe nali omuntu onaalotanga bingi teeka okamera y'omusajja amala okufuna